One man started with nothing, no army, no kingdom, no food. Yet he conquered half the world. This is the story of the most feared man in human history. In the 13th century, from the frozen steppes of Central Asia, a force emerged that would shake every civilization on Earth and rewrite the map of the known world forever. His name was Temujin. Born into a noble family, abandoned by his tribe after his father was poisoned. He survived in extreme poverty on the cold and unforgiving Mongolian steppe. As a child, he was captured and enslaved. He wore a heavy wooden collar around his neck, hunted like an animal. Yet behind those dark eyes burned an unbreakable will to conquer. Through years of brutal warfare and sheer military genius, Temujin did what no one had done before. He united every scattered and warring Mongol tribe under one single banner. In 1206, at a great assembly on the steppe, the united tribes gave him a title the world would never forget: Genghis Khan, universal ruler, and he intended to prove it. What followed was the fastest military expansion in all of recorded human history. The Mongol Empire would soon stretch from the Pacific Ocean to the edges of Eastern Europe. The secret weapon of the Mongols was speed. Their cavalry covered 60 to 100 miles a day. No messenger could outrun them. They arrived like a storm, sudden, violent, and overwhelming. Genghis Khan mastered psychological warfare. Every city received the same offer: surrender and live in peace, or resist and face total and absolute annihilation. Most surrendered. City after city fell. Great empires standing for centuries collapsed within days. Nothing in the ancient world could stop what was coming across the steppe toward them. The mighty Khwarezmian Empire, one of the most powerful kingdoms in the Islamic world, was next. Its Shah had killed Mongol ambassadors. Genghis Khan would never forgive that. Samarkand, a jewel of Islamic civilization with over 400,000 inhabitants, fell to the Mongol army in just 5 days. 5 days. A city built over centuries, completely gone. The death toll was staggering. Tens of millions perished. Entire regions were completely depopulated. Civilizations existing for thousands of years were erased entirely from the map. Yet Genghis Khan was far more than a destroyer. He was one of history's most brilliant administrators, building systems and laws that rivaled any great civilization of his time. He created the Yam, one of the world's first postal relay systems. Stations every 25 miles across the empire. A message could cross the entire empire in just days. Truly revolutionary. Genghis Khan declared complete religious freedom across his empire. Christians, Muslims, Buddhists, and shamans all practiced freely. He taxed no religion. Centuries ahead of his time, under Mongol rule, the Silk Road became safer than ever before. Merchants traveled thousands of miles without fear. Trade between China and Europe exploded. Goods and ideas flowed freely. When Genghis Khan died in 1227, his empire covered 24 million square kilometers, more than all of North America. More territory than Rome, conquered across 4 entire centuries. His sons and grandsons pushed even further. Armies burned Moscow and Kiev. They crushed Poland and Hungary. They swept through Persia and deep into the heart of the Middle East. In 1241, at the Battle of Legnica, the Mongols crushed the combined armies of Poland and the Holy Roman Empire. The gates of Western Europe stood wide open. Nothing could stop them. Then the unthinkable happened. Word arrived. The great Khan had died in Mongolia. By Mongol law, all princes must return. Western Europe was saved, not by armies, but by pure chance. In 1258, Hulagu Khan led his forces into Baghdad, center of Islamic science and learning for 5 centuries. The mighty Abbasid Caliphate was destroyed completely in just weeks. The destruction of Baghdad's House of Wisdom was history's greatest intellectual catastrophe. Centuries of human knowledge thrown into the Tigris. The river ran black with ink for days, but in 1260 at Ain Jalut, the Mongols finally met an enemy that would not break: the Mamluk warriors of Egypt. Battle-hardened and fearless, the Mamluks stood their ground. For the first time in 50 years of conquest, a Mongol army was decisively defeated in open battle. The myth of Mongol invincibility was shattered forever at Ain Jalut in 1260. Over following generations, something remarkable happened. Mongol conquerors began adopting conquered cultures. They learned new languages, embraced new religions, and became sophisticated rulers. In China, Kublai Khan founded the Yuan dynasty and built one of history's most magnificent courts. He welcomed Marco Polo, whose accounts of Mongol China would astonish all of Europe. Eventually, the empire became too large for any single ruler. It fractured into 4 khanates: Yuan in China, Ilkhanate in Persia, Chagatai in Central Asia, and the Golden Horde in Russia. At its peak, the Mongol Empire held dominion over 1/4 of all humanity. Over 100 million people, from Chinese farmers to Russian princes, lived under the shadow of the Mongol throne. No empire in all of human history conquered so much territory so quickly. From a small tribe on a cold steppe, the Mongols built the largest land empire the world has ever seen. The story of the Mongol Empire is ultimately the story of humanity itself, of destruction and creation side by side, and how the hunger for power can reshape an entire civilization forever.